And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv. It's tiki time at Harbor Cove Cafe. Dive into the tropical paradise at the end of Spinnaker Drive in Ventura with vibrant drinks, delicious bites, award-winning fish and chips, and more. Now featuring extended hours, a dinner menu, and happy hour, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Visit harborcovecafe.net for more information.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and this is the show where we talk show business. Sitting over there, JohnyD. Much better since you're sitting across from me than sitting to the side of me, because now it looks like I'm actually talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
So that works out pretty good.
So when you're pointing to me, you're not pointing away from me.
Usually I'm only pointing with one finger, and it's not the pointer finger.
Yeah, it's normally pointed up, and it's
number
one.
Yes. Good news. I have received the galley of the bowling bag with the back seat, which will be in stores on March 18th. So it's my last chance to review it. Your last chance to get me.
I know it. I'm going to.
How much have you done since the last show?
I don't. None. I admit it.
Goose egg.
I had planned on doing it.
Taking your name out of the thanks.
I planned on doing it last night.
This is going to be good.
But when I got back to my place, there was no parking space.
Oh, those jerks. So did you go over and make a complaint to the wine people?
Oh, no. No, they're actually good people.
I know they are. And they have good wine.
And I told them.
What's the name of that place?
4 Bricks.
4 Bricks.
And Bricks is spelled with an X.
4 Bricks. If you're looking for a good time, they have bands that play there.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, they had a band list. I don't know who it is, but it was obviously live.
And terrific wine, and it's a good time. It's fun. And I also want to mention before you go any further on that, Harbor Cove Cafe in the ad I just played for you. It shows that their happy hour is 2 to 4 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not this weekend. It's next weekend. So prepare yourself. Don't go down there today expecting them to be open after 2. They won't be, but next week they will be. I tried some of their new items last night.
Mm-hmm.
They have new onion rings.
Ooh.
They're the most ridiculous, delicious things I've ever seen. They're like donuts. You'd swear it was a donut, but it's an onion ring, and it was heavenly. They also have, and this was Randy's favorite. Randy's the owner of Harbor Cove Cafe, a pretzel bun slider with bacon habanero jam.
Ooh.
And it was so delicious. Even my wife, who can't take heat, loved it. She thought it was great. They had pineapple upside down cake, which was terrific. And there's just a bunch of other stuff coming through. And again, with the Mai Tais, Chase there was working his rear end off, but managed to keep up the quality of the Mai Tais and the other drinks very nicely. So I just wanted to mention, don't count on that ad because it's next week when the real fun starts. And I'm thinking that maybe we should go there for lunch next week.
Yeah.
Before the show. We'll see. Because 2:00 is, I got to be here at 3.
I was going to say, what day are you talking about? On a Friday?
Yeah, it's got to be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Well, you said before the show, and I'm going.
Not this show. We could go there because I think they're open. But it'd be kind of weird to be. No, it wouldn't. I'm drinking Mai Tai and a burrito there.
We could do our show from
there. We could, and we will do the show from there one of these days.
Because he wants us to.
I know. We will do that for sure. In fact, we'll probably do that sooner than later because he's got this new menu and everything going on. So,
especially with summer coming very, very soon.
Well, that's the whole point. He wanted to start summer early. So he's starting summer March 1st as going to be when the big stuff, actually February 28th, but so anyway, today we're going to start with our reviews of Captain America, Brave New World. Johnny and I went to see this last week in theaters, of course. And I'll let Johnny give his review first, and then I'll tell you why he's wrong.
I quite enjoyed it. I really did. You know me, I don't believe in changing established characters.
They didn't change an established
when you have canon, that was my take on it. But with all that being said, I quite enjoyed it.
It's Chris Evans quit the series because, well, his character allowed himself to age to be with his wife. Isn't that what happened?
Well, it wasn't his wife. It was his love.
Okay. Like that makes a difference.
He fell in love with her in the
right.
Yeah.
So he gave that up in order to be with her. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed a new Captain America, and the Falcon was always going to be the new Captain America. So that made complete sense to me. I had no issue with that whatsoever. I thought Anthony Mackie is incredible. I think he nails that role perfectly. I love the guest stars. I love the fact that Harrison Ford played the president, because it's the second time he's played a president, and he's pretty good at it, as a matter of fact. I thought the special effects and the action sequences were very good.
Okay. I just thought of something. Who makes the better president? Harrison Ford or Martin Sheen? That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. And that says a lot, because, Martin Sheen was, how many years did that show run?
A lot.
Yeah. And there's one Captain America movie with him as the president, 2 total that he did, if you count Air Force One. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but you're right. It's very, very close. I also like the fact I have superhero fatigue. I'm tired of superhero movies. I like the Deadpool movies because they're different. And I like the Captain America movies because they're also a little different. The way I describe it is that they're a little more complex. They're a little more story based. I think more of the Captain America movies as being closer to Jack Ryan than the other Marvel movies. You know what I'm saying? Because the stories are about the conspiracies, about hidden things, about secrets that are going on, and then it all combines into this big action. So yeah, I enjoyed it too. I would probably give it an 80, 85 on my scale out of 100, because I enjoyed it that much. I thought the score was terrific. It was just really good. And at the end it says Captain America will return. Well, duh. The movie's making so much money that's definitely going to happen.
Well, the fact that he originally played the Falcon, and I don't know if he was the original actor.
I think Don Cheadle was the original Falcon, if I remember.
No. I think Don Cheadle was in Iron Man. He played.
You're right.
Major.
You're right. Yeah.
But Captain America, the current Captain America, originally
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, we knew Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. And I'm thinking, okay, they can't call him Captain Falcon America or Captain.
No, that would be almost sounds nasty.
And considering he had wings, I'm going, what are they going to do? Well, I found out.
Yeah, they pulled it off. It was a nice transfer of power. A lot of complaints about the movie. The biggest complaints about the movie is that there's not enough Red Hulk in it. Okay, you want more Red Hulk? Go see a movie called Red Hulk. This is called Captain America.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I thought there was just the right amount of Red Hulk in the Captain America movie, and Harrison Ford again playing the Hulk. I would have loved to have seen him in the studio if he did it this way. I would have loved to see him in the studio acting out those scenes as the Hulk before they applied all the special effects on top of him.
What would be interesting, have a scene between him and the Green Hulk.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The Green Hulk has to always be the most invincible character.
Oh, yeah.
So you know who's going to win there. And
yeah.
In my opinion, the Green Hulk is, wow, that was weird. The Green Hulk is the one that's the king of the Marvel universe, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to get emails about that. No, this is the king. I don't want him. That's just me. I've always been a fan of the Hulk. When I was a little kid, I went to Pick and Save. Remember Pick and Save?
Yes.
And I bought this book. It was about this thick, comic book with it wasn't even a graphic novel. This is a collection of comics that they put into one book. 50 cents. I still have that somewhere out in my garage. And one of these days I'm going to dig it out and read it again because I loved it. They said that the Hulk is so fast that he can if they shoot a nuclear weapon at him and it explodes next to him, he can leap away fast enough to escape the blast. That's my kind of superhero.
He does have a fantastic leap.
Yes, he does. So anyway, both of us give thumbs up to Captain America, Brave New World, and you should go see it. That's pretty much. Oh, you know what? I have all these pictures from it. I didn't even show it. So here's the let's start with the poster. There's the poster, Captain America, Brave New World. Giancarlo Esposito is great in the movie.
Oh, he is. Everything I've seen him in, he has been totally great.
He was one of those people that I was surprised to see in it. I really was. The other one I was surprised to see is the villain. Because the villain shows up. I call him Cauliflower Head, affectionately. He shows up, and I'm thinking to myself as we're watching that, I'm going, is that who I think it is? I can't imagine him doing a Marvel movie. But then everybody does Marvel movies because why? Money. And sure enough, it was Tim Blake Nelson playing the bad guy, Cauliflower Head.
Now, what do we know him from?
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Amongst many other things.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He was the third guy.
He was the third guy. How John got that number, I have no idea, but he was the third guy.
Isn't he the guy that thought the guy in the middle was turned into a frog by the witches?
Yes. That's a great movie.
It is.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou is an awesome movie. Those Coen brothers, they just make magic. That's so I was surprised to see him in that. I thought that, he would have been above that, but again, money talks. So Tim Blake Nelson also very good in that. So let's see, that was the poster. Here's Captain America getting a fist from the Hulk. That was a good scene, the battle sequence between them. So you knew Captain America had to win. And it was also, it was a little predictable about how Captain America won, but it was good.
Do you remember twice in the movie they mentioned strolling in the cherry blossoms? And where did the fight take place? Amongst the cherry blossoms.
That was intentional. That, right? Okay.
That was so cool.
And also, spoiler alert. So you just ruined the movie for everybody who hasn't seen it. He didn't ruin it. All right. There's another scene of Anthony Mackie as Captain America. And pulls it off very well. So I'm looking forward to more from Captain America. The rest of the Marvel movies, I'll take or I'm gonna leave them. And there's been some really disappointing ones lately. The Hunter, what was that one?
Oh, I actually enjoyed that one.
Melvin the Hunter, I think.
Melvin. That's right. A childhood friend of mine. His name is
Melvin the Hunter?
No, his name is Melvin. He was my older brother's best friend growing up.
Great. Are we going to hear the whole story?
Well, I'm just, but you said Melvin.
I had a dog his nickname was Melvin. His name was Carmel, but we called him Melvin. So
I didn't know that.
Well,
I remember Carmel.
Yeah, he's a good dog.
Was.
Little Chihuahua. Oh, he's long dead.
Yeah,
he was a good dog. He did the Carmel shuffle. When you put him somewhere he didn't like to be, like up on the sink or something, he would sit back and he would go. What the hell is he doing? It was a weird dog. Anyway,
please don't put me in there.
Yeah, something like that. We both of us liked Captain America, Brave New World. I would even go see it again, as a matter of fact, and it helps a lot. And I know that people are going to the theaters to see this one. It's doing quite well. But can you imagine that it would not be the same if you're watching I don't care how much of a system you've got at your home, at your house. Your home entertainment center is not going to be as good as a theater. You need that walls. You need the walls to shake during a movie like that.
Unless you got THX sound system throughout your house.
Even then, it's not going to be the same.
You need that. You need the big screen.
Yeah, and you also need a community experience. You're there with people that are there to see the same movie you are. You're there for the most pristine version of the film. The biggest screen, the bigger screen you can see it on. By the way,
and the recliners.
It is IMAX. So
the recliners.
Those recliners are a bad idea.
Yeah, because you could fall asleep.
I never buy beer when I go to the movies because I will fall asleep no matter what the movie is. So,
or if it's a bad movie.
Well, if it's a bad movie, then I deserve to go to sleep. But
anyway. It's a bad movie when you can't remember what it was. All I can remember was towards the end of the movie. I took my phone out and was playing games,
That was
so gory.
Nosferatu.
Yes, I was so disappointed in that one, and I was also disappointed in the Wolfman.
I was disappointed in Wolfman. I was not disappointed with Nosferatu. I understood what he was doing. Like I said, it was as much art film as it was horror film, and I get that. So I had no issues with that whatsoever.
A movie I want to see is I think it's called Thunderbolts.
That looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was a sequel, but apparently it's not. Is that the family from Black Widow or something?
I do know that.
See, this is what I know about Marvel things.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We should have Julie in here. She knows it all.
The guy with the arm.
They all have arms.
Bucky. What was Bucky's full name?
Bucky Melvin.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because one of my nephew's nickname is
Here we go again.
Is Bucky. And he's the son of my brother George, whose best friend growing up was Melvin.
There's always a connection. Always a connection.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, Carl Lumbly was also in this movie, and you've seen Carl Lumbly in a million things. It was good to see him in this as well. And he was also very, very good in this. He was in Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, for example.
Oh God, that was such a great movie.
That is a great movie.
I wished because the way they ended it, I think the closing credits said they would be back, and they never were.
That's too bad.
Yeah, that was such a good movie.
I'm sorry, I'm going off on a rabbit hole thing right now because he's also in a movie called The Life of Chuck, which is based on a book by Stephen King. And according to this, it's been released, but because it says 2024, but I don't know why I wouldn't have seen it so anyway, I gotta find Life of Chuck. All right, moving on. So,
but it has nothing to do with the TV series Chuck.
How do you know? Did you see it?
I saw the series.
Yeah. No, it has nothing to do with it. It's about a man who lives his life backwards. It's very, very interesting. It's a terrific book. Terrific book. Gee, Stephen King wrote a terrific book.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, that's pretty shocking. Yeah. So anyway, moving on here. So that was Captain America, Brave New World. And John and I both recommend that for you folks out there.
Big thumbs up.
And if you're expecting a lot of Red Hulk, then don't go. I mean, it's the perfect amount. It fits the story perfectly. And it's not called Red Hulk, but and I'm glad that the character got some heat because maybe they'll get Harrison Ford back at some point, even though that was one of the things, and I'm not going to tell you, but one of the ways that the movie ended with the president's fate, I was afraid that something else was going to happen that would have made the movie entirely silly, and it didn't. And so that was good. I'm trying to be very careful and not give anything away.
I like the fact that they didn't have the, the Hydra characters in the movie. If they were.
I think they mentioned Hydra at one point.
I think they did.
They just mentioned it in passing.
Yeah, but I don't remember seeing any Hydra characters.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, very, very good movie. All right, and since we're at that point, let's go ahead and it's time for this. Is it as bad as they say it was? We'll find out now on the Backseat Mogul Show. All right, we promised this to you a while ago, and because a long time ago, Johnny and I went to a screening of Body of Evidence down in Westwood. We were down there seeing the movie, and the audience was laughing uproariously, making fun of the movie, and generally hating the whole thing from beginning to end. And the odd thing about it was the cast and crew screening. So these people didn't even like their own movie. Now, it's been, what year was that? 1993. So it's been 31 years. 31 years since that movie was released. Is that right? 10, 20. No.
It seems like it.
30 years would be 2023, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that movie is that. So it's been that long since we've seen it. So we decided we would watch it again and see how bad it really is. Now, let me go to Rotten Tomatoes and give you some figures from there first.
Before you do that, let's mention it did have a spectacular cast of
We'll get to that.
Well, I thought it'd be nice to say that before we got about the.
We'll get to that.
Okay,
I have a plan.
Oh, I'm fine.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it has 8% critics rating and a 23% audience rating.
Ooh.
I know they call it the popcorn meter. I hate that. It's the audience rating. So as you can see, Body of Evidence, not very well reviewed. But it was only fair if we went back and watched it again to see how Body of Evidence really was, how it holds up today after all these years. And you can tell it's all these years because there's many big actors, as Johnny said, in this movie. And as you watch it, you go, every time you see him, man, he was young. Man, she was young. Because they are also young. So the story is about a woman who is accused of murder. Madonna, there she is right there. And she hires a lawyer who is Willem Dafoe. There he is right there. Man, he looks young.
Yeah, he does. Because he was.
And you know, again, as Johnny said, there's a lot of other actors in this as well. There's Madonna, Willem Dafoe, Joe Mantegna, Ann Archer, and Juliana Phillips.
Oh, and
is that Juliana Phillips?
I don't know.
Does that sound wrong to me? I think it's I'm looking on the Julianne Moore. Sorry, Julianne Moore. I knew it was one of the Juliannes.
And that one actor, God, he
that one actor is also in it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go through the cast now. So it's got Madonna, Joe Mantegna, M. Scott Douglas. Who's that? Nobody. I mean, I know the name, but it's me and my brother. Ann Archer, Willem Dafoe, Julianne Harris. I'm going through just to find the names of Jurgen Prochnow, Frank Langella.
Yeah, that's the one. Frank Langella. I mean, a good, very good cast of actors.
Yes.
With the exceptions of Madonna.
Well, we're going to talk about that. So, I didn't take Julianne down. Julianne Moore, by the way, is her name, and she's in it along with all those other actors. So she hires the lawyer. It turns into a body heat kind of situation where she seduces him and you know, tries to, and you know, you kind of know what's going to happen all the way through because it's one of those movies that it has to end that way. Because if it ends any other way, you're like, okay, well, that didn't make any sense. So I'll let Johnny go first. Johnny, you rewatched Body of Evidence, and was it as bad as they say it was?
No, it was worse.
Okay, why?
For me, I'm going to dump on Madonna. She might be a good, okay singer. I've never been a fan of her singing. For some reason, her voice just...
You don't have to be because she sold 40 million records.
But as an actress, no, I'm sorry. She might pull it off on her videos that she's done, but she's just singing in her videos. But as an actress with speaking parts, no, I'm sorry.
What part stuck out to you as bad?
Every scene she was in.
Really?
Yeah.
See, it seems like you're going after her intentionally.
I'm
Why are you attacking her? She's you know, she needs the money. No,
I think the story could have been better.
The story was a very typical story. Like I said, it was you knew everything that was going to happen from the beginning to the end. Once that, you know, the minute that Willem Dafoe and Ann Archer become more than a lawyer and his client, you know how it's going to end.
Well, Ann Archer wasn't his client.
Not Ann Archer, Madonna.
But
why did I say Ann Archer? I know she's in it, but I don't know why I pulled her name out. Sorry, Ann.
I have been in lust with Ann Archer ever since I saw her in the movie.
Lust is a sin.
Okay, I've been in love with...
You said lust, you're going to hell.
Oh, I thought it was in hell.
Oh, you might be.
I saw her in a movie. I think it was called Emerald Green or Emerald or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And it was real quickly. It was a story about a guy who was smuggling emeralds from South America to the U.S.
Okay.
And she was in this movie, and something about her beauty just grabbed me. I think she is one of the most beautifulest ladies I have ever seen on the screen.
And she's a terrific actor.
Oh, yes.
She's a very, very good actor. Yeah, she was in Fatal Attraction. She was in, I'm pulling up a list here, Patriot Games, The Art of War, many, many other movies. And she is terrific. She's very good.
Didn't she play the wife of Harrison Ford's character in Patriot Games?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. So, anyway, what else did you find about watching it again that you didn't like? You said the story. You said that Madonna's acting.
I wasn't too thrilled with the direction. I don't remember who the director was,
Well, let's find out.
but
I know his name, but I want to make sure I say it right. Uli Idal,
and I'm sure he's a really fine actor, but
director.
Yeah, director. Well, he might be an actor too, but as a director or with this movie, it would have been interesting to be someone behind the camera to see what was going on between certain actors and the director and the producer.
Okay.
'Cause I don't know if there was any turmoil or what, but to me, it seems like there might have been, because I just don't feel like the big name actors gave their all in this movie to make it much better, because they are much better than what they threw up on screen.
Okay, so I'm going to say I agree with you. I don't think it was as bad as I thought it was. I was actually I was actually surprised at how not as bad it was, actually. I blame the screenplay a lot. Screenplay had some really clunky lines. The scenes that worked the best were the sex scenes. They were kinky and wild, and I did not remember Madonna being that naked that often.
Well,
I was really surprised. I thought, wow, I don't remember this part at all.
wasn't much dialogue in the sex scene.
Exactly, and that's probably my point. The director and the screenwriters weren't real good with the drama scenes, but the sex scenes they were really good at, because they were mildly kinky. There was also the additional titillation of Madonna being as naked as she was, and Dafoe did some serious work in those scenes as well. I was really surprised at how well the sex scenes worked and how badly the other scenes worked, and I blame that both on the director and the screenwriter, because despite the cast, which was a terrific cast, nobody was on their game in that movie. They were all just a little bit off, and you could feel it. Now, I will say this, and this is part we're going to disagree on heavily. I was surprised that Madonna was as good as she was. I thought she was terrible in that movie the first time I saw it. I watched it this time, and through most of the movie, I was thinking to myself, wow, she is better than I thought. She actually pulled off that mole role, that MOLL, however you say that word, role, until the end, when things got serious with the denouement, the ending. Then it was bad. She was really bad. Jürgen Prochnow, I thought, was bad. And especially at the end again, it's like, yeah, he's just this isn't working. And I don't think, as I said, that the rest of the cast was, even the great ones were on the top of their game. Yeah. Even Willem Dafoe. It's like in the scene, it's like he's Willem Dafoe, he's doing okay, but he's got more, and I blame that on the director. The director should have brought that out for them.
And Frank Langella, a fantastic actor, did not have that big of a role, wasn't in that many scenes. I think he was only in a few of the courtroom scenes. 2 or 3 scenes,
yeah, at the most.
But
he was great. He was good.
But I don't think he gave us what he really could have.
Nobody did. Nobody gave the top of the game. They just wasn't pulled out of them by the director. So I do blame the director for that.
I think Madonna probably gave as good as she could.
Well, I'm telling you, I was more impressed than I thought I'd be. And am I saying she was good? Not necessarily, but she wasn't as bad as I remember. So that's worth something, The surprising thing to me was Julianne Moore, who's one of my favorite actors. She was bad. She was really bad in that.
Yeah, wasn't she in the prosecuting attorney's desk?
That's right there. I believe so. Yeah, and I was surprised, because she's usually way above top notch. She's Oscar level these days, But in this, she was just not good at all.
What was her resume before that?
Let's find out. Now that I got her name right, not Juliana Phillips, but Julianne Moore. Let's see here. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Give me a second, folks. Oops, that's the wrong thing too. There we go. Julianne Moore. I don't know what she had done before. I know she did a lot afterwards, because that's when she received her Oscar nominations and what have you. Let's see here. So we're going to go back to 1993. I mean, see, for example, she was in Boogie Nights 4 years later, and she was amazing in Boogie Nights.
That's a movie I still haven't seen.
It's a very interesting movie.
You think that being connected with
the porn industry?
Yeah. Well, yes, I was connected with it. Wasn't supposed to have been, but
the actor couldn't make it, so they asked John to fill in.
well, that's true.
Don't watch that movie, folks.
I had to shorten things up.
So she was in The Gun in Betty Lou's Handbag, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. She was in the TV show Cast a Deadly Spell, which I loved. The Last to Go. She was in BL Striker. So she had done mostly television work up to that point. And then her next movie after Body of Evidence was Benny and June.
Oh, which was a good movie.
Yeah, and then The Fugitive. So, again, I'm not blaming her as an actor because I know she can do it, but I don't think the director gave her good direction. And it didn't help that they gave her bad words to say, and I don't mean nasty, cursing. It was bad dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, when all was told, yeah, it was ridiculous. I rolled my eyes at the end, but I had to say, you know what? I was better than I expected. I would probably give it maybe a 35 or 40% rather than an 8%. That's still not good, by the way, but that's what I would give that movie after seeing it. And so it wasn't nearly as bad as I remembered it.
Okay. So
it's not good.
In another 20, 30 years, we'll watch it again and decide, yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah. Maybe, we'll see how that goes. But
in another 30 years, I'm going to be 100 and something.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Wait,
This is a review. Joe Lipset of Bloody Disgusting gave this review, and I agree with his review perfectly. Body of Evidence isn't good. It's too slow, and its courtroom theatrics feel out of step with the evolution of Rebecca and Frank's relationship. But it's certainly not the trash fire that critics and the lackluster box office would have you believe. I agree with that review completely. That's Joe Lipset's review is exactly what I would write if I was Joe Lipset, but I'm not. I'm R. Scott Bolton. So
if I was writing the review, I would have somehow come up with different spellings, different
you use more F words,
languages of laughing.
Yeah.
See, how do you spell laughing in Russian? How do you spell laughing in French? How do you spell laughing in
there was certainly laughable moments,
yeah.
But again, I was surprised by it. Again, it's not good. There's no way it's not good, but it wasn't nearly it's not an 8%er, I don't think.
I don't, maybe I was swayed by the cast and crew laughing.
Well, that we definitely were at that point. Yeah. There's no question about that. Because when the people who make the movie are laughing at it, you kind of, wow, how bad is this?
Yeah, Scotty and I went to the screening, Scotty being the critic and
Press Courier newspaper in Oxnard.
And the very first thing that Scotty said to me, the very first movie that he invited me to go along with,
I had certain rules.
And he said, one of the rules was there's no talking, no laughing, anything. You just sit there quietly and watch and enjoy the movie.
You could laugh. You just couldn't laugh at bad parts.
Right.
You had to maintain a face. Because I hate to go into critics' screenings and have critics, some of them get up and walk out of a middle movie saying, a piece of crap. Like, dude, sit down and shut up. The movie's free. You can talk about it later. Don't put it in your review. Don't ruin my movie experience.
Yeah, and then there's the reviewer who would not even go and still write a review.
There was many of those reviewers. There were many of them.
And one we know.
Yeah, he did.
He would actually. I miss him.
Yeah, I do too. He was a good guy, but he did that a couple of times. I was aware of that. But anyway, bottom line is it's not as bad as I thought it was. All right, it's time for a quick ad from our friends at Pele Utu. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the death of James Bond. Pele Utu, Reno's only traditional tiki bar. A kaleidoscope of colors and tropical charm with the undeniable allure of paradise and intoxicatingly delicious cocktails. Pele Utu. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. 1275 Stardust Street in Reno, Nevada. For more information, please visit pele-utu.bar.
Jamaican.
Start now.
Oh.
Your mic's turned off until the ad's over.
Tell me, where did you find the Jamaican voice?
I don't know what voice that is. I don't know if it's Jamaican. It started out to be the French guy from SpongeBob and then turned into what it was.
I liked it.
I have no idea.
Admit,
Shocker, the owner of Pele Utu, says, because people were trying to, you should change that. And Shocker, who owns Pele Utu, says, No, that's the perfect voice for my bar. So it stays that
Hey,
way.
Shocker's a great guy. Hey, if you're ever in the Denver area, go to Pele Utu.
Why would you go to Denver before you go to Reno?
Did I say Denver?
You did. Go to Denver first and then head back to Pele Utu.
Okay, in the words of Mork from Ork, rewind. If you're ever in Reno, go
That's
to
better.
Pele Utu.
Maybe, if you're coming from New York, maybe you have a layover. In
Oh, yeah.
Denver. That's what you were thinking, as far as you know. All right, so the big news in the movies this week was that Barbara Broccoli and her production team have quit the James Bond series.
Oh, my goodness.
They were fighting with Amazon. Amazon wanted to do all this commercial stuff with James Bond, and Broccoli was saying, "You're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin James Bond if you do this. It has to remain special. It has to remain unique." They had somebody in mind for their James Bond. Amazon wanted somebody else for their James Bond. And after 61 years, the Broccoli family is going to leave the James Bond series, and Amazon is taking over. And Jeff Bezos has already gone online asking people who they think should be the next James Bond, and it's dead. It's over. The James Bond series is done.
Oh, no.
Because they're going to make the movie they're going to make. It's going to be John Wick, or it's going to be something else. It's not going to be James Bond. They're probably going to dump all the tropes that we've come to love, all the barrel sequence at the beginning, the Bond theme. They're probably going to dump all that stuff and start fresh, because that's what they want to do. They want to make like 4 TV shows based on characters in the James Bond universe. They want to build parks, James Bond amusement parks, and they're going to thin it out so much that it won't mean anything to anybody. And it's unfortunate, because I was really looking forward to a Broccoli Amazon partnership, but that ain't going to happen. And how bad does it have to be for you to walk away from your family's legacy?
Yeah.
Now, the good news is it's not too bad, because my understanding is that in order for this whole thing to take place, they need to pay her and her people almost $1 billion. So they're not walking away empty-handed.
Well, I read a couple of days ago that there's some rich guy who is involved, not Bezos.
I know it's
Another
guy
guy doing a lawsuit against.
He doesn't have a prayer. He doesn't have a prayer. He's trying to say that the 007 logo and other trademarks of the James Bond series aren't protected anymore because they haven't used them.
Yeah, in the last 5 years, he said.
Yeah, good luck.
And
Why don't you look at the books, books that are released? Why don't you look at the video games that have been released? That's a frivolous lawsuit. He doesn't. I don't think, and I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think he has a chance, because they have done it. Look at, just Google the news. You'll see it's all. They have used it, so it's a silly lawsuit. Won't happen. But the point is that, the Broccoli family has run the James Bond movie since 1963. And they have always been successful. The last, some less successful than others, but let's just take a look at the Daniel Craig movies, which took Bond to a whole nother level. Now, put that in your head for a second. I don't remember how many years exactly Daniel Craig played James Bond, but let's say it was 10. Okay? 10 years, the last 10 years of a series that's 63 years old is by far the most popular. Why would you try to fix something that obviously isn't broke? It's ludicrous. Yeah. And I just don't understand the whole thing. What was the last Bond movie? Spectre?
No, the last one
was No Time to Die.
Yeah.
No Time to Die. Now, No Time to Die was supposed to come out during COVID. COVID came out, it was held up, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Mm-hmm. But when it finally did come out, it managed to gross $750 million. Now, that's on a $250 million budget, so there's a lot of it made its money back. Mm-hmm. But the point is, why would you want to fix something that brought you $750 million? It's not broken.
That's what they say. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And I've heard people jumping on these message boards and stuff talking about how, now all the doomsayers are going to come out and say the James Bond series is over. They've said that before, and it's continued. Yeah, it has, with the same family and producers. Yeah. Not now. They're going to take it. They're going to slick it up. I don't know for a fact they're going to do this. Just what I feel they're going to do. But I do know that they want to make all these series and these parks and turn it into something that it's not supposed to be. And it's unfortunate that thank God it lasted as many years as it did. It's got to be in the top 5 most successful franchises of all time. And no, we're going to make it better. No, you're not. You're going to screw it up.
Yep.
And that's my honest belief. I hope I'm wrong. Mark my words right here today, February 22nd. I hope I'm wrong about the James Bond series. I hope they fix it. But I hope that they make it work, because they ain't going to fix it. It ain't broke. But it's going to be
terrible.
a mistake. It is. I think they're going to screw it up. And I'm really upset about it.
You'll see us doing the show, and the segment is it as bad as they say it is.
as we knew it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, when we first found out Daniel Craig was playing Bond, we made fun of him on this very show.
Bond's not blonde.
Yeah, but ended up being one of the best Bonds.
Oh yeah,
because they're all the best Bonds in my opinion. But he nailed it. And
even George Lazenby.
And Craig brought the project to new heights. I mean, Skyfall. Let's look up Skyfall's budget.
That was so great.
And its box office was the biggest ever for James Bond, which was a whopping $1.1 billion
worldwide.
$1.1 billion.
I mean, look at what it got domestic.
Yeah, 300 million domestic. It's not going to happen now. In fact, the other thing I'm afraid of is that Amazon's going to keep it, and they're not going to release it in theaters. They'll just put it on their streaming channel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that. Again, I just don't trust them with James Bond. Here's what I told my friend Devin, because he's the one who sent me the news article first. They're going to throw away a family of producers that has nursed this thing for 60 plus years and made it what it is today. They're going to throw them away for some 24-year-olds with iPads.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. They're going to make it a youngster's film or something. And anyway.
Yeah. They'll probably youngster. They'll probably have a Jimmy Bond or Jamie Bond.
The very first person that they were announced that was in the running after the Bezos asked for the name was Wallace Shawn. Now I could see Wallace Shawn playing that, he's like, have the bad guy pointing a gun at him and say, you drop that gun. And Wallace Shawn says, inconceivable. Somebody obviously did that as a joke. It's not really in the running, folks. But anyway, I just think that the James Bond series is dead. And I think that Amazon drove a stake through its heart. And I don't know this. I hope that I'm wrong, but I just have a really bad feeling about it. And, that's unfortunate. And the good thing coming out of the Broccoli family is they're going to get a ton of money.
Yeah.
So, good. Give them a ton of money because they've earned it because they did it right.
Okay. Miss Broccoli, remember this. Could always make another Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie. Better.
She hates the studio. I have a hunch she'll retire. I think she tried to make a series of movies with Halle Berry based on the Jinx character she played in the James Bond movie, and the studios wouldn't even talk to her. And she was very frustrated about that. So I don't think she'll go. I think she'll just hang it up, which is unfortunate because if I was another studio, I'd find a project for, but I don't know. It's just very disappointing.
The American Matt Helm.
Johnny, nobody knows who Matt Helm is but me and you.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I told you the secret. Call my buddy Devin. He's young, and plus he's not like my son who gets everything from me, right? He's somebody who just has his own.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him who Matt Helm is. He won't know. That's the test. That's the audience they're looking for. And even Devin's getting up there.
Start another Flint series.
Again. How many of you know Flint?
Yeah.
I know a lot of you do, but I know a lot of you don't. Too bad too, because they're really good. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. So let's talk about some more interesting news. Oh, I want to tell you about, did I tell you about what I found in Wyoming when I was there last week?
No, I don't. I'm not, you may have when you got back, but that was.
I went to a thrift store in a couple of thrift stores while I was in Rock Springs, Wyoming. And it was interesting because a lot of the stuff is the same crap we have here. Of course it is. But a lot of it's not. And I went to this one store after we went, before we went to Porky's, which is a bar there. And on the shelf, they had the Criterion edition of The Irishman, which is the Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese.
No, you didn't tell me that.
And is it Joe Pesci? Yeah, I think it's Joe Pesci movie. And Pacino. Anyway, I thought, oh, I'd like to have this. So I take it down. It's a 2-disc set. And I look up and 2-disc DVDs are $3. And I'm thinking, well, this is worth $3. The only problem I had is that I wished it was Blu-ray. Well, I looked a little closer and it was Blu-ray. And then I got to the counter and it wasn't what they consider a multi-disc set, even though there were 2 discs in it. It was what they consider a single disc set. So it was $1.50. And then it was senior day and I got 10% off. Like, I couldn't have got that. That was the best deal. Shelley's like, well, you can't take that back in the plane. Oh, the hell I can't. I'm thinking there's no way I'm leaving this here. And I was just very happy with that. So that was the first thing. The other thing was, and this is a whole different story on a whole different level. I've been watching the Saw series in order. And I got through Saw 1, 2, and 3 and Saw 4. The Saw movies aren't available anywhere for free right now. You have to buy them if you're going to buy them, stream them. Well, I didn't want to pay for a streaming movie. And even though that's stupid, I know I should have just done it. It was only $3.99. I should have just done it. So we're in Wyoming, and on the shelf, there's of DVDs at another thrift store. There was all of the Saw movies on DVD. And I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. Snagged it. That was $3. Took that home, plugged it into my PS4. The disc won't play.
Oh no.
Wash the disc, clean the disc won't play.
It's probably got in the beginning, a little scratch.
Here's what's weird. So I plugged it in my computer and I ripped perfectly. So I can watch it on a digital version instead.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? So something about the PS4 didn't like.
I would presume that the PS4 would grab it before the computer would.
It's just a player. So you'd think so. Whereas the computer is a player, recorder, and all that other stuff. But yeah. So anyway, I was able to rip it, and and I watched the first half of it. Okay, gory movies don't bother me. Johnny will attest to this. I usually laugh at the gory parts because the more outlandish, the better. The opening sequence to that movie has Tobin Bell, who plays Saw. He's dead. And they're doing an autopsy on him. And that autopsy is so detailed, so up close, and so squelchy that I was getting a little queasy. And it's not even a violent scene. It's just an autopsy scene, but it was obviously a very detailed autopsy scene, and that somebody had done some research on about how real autopsies look. And it was a little tough, man. but anyway, I'm not all the way through that yet, but that was my other Wyoming find. So anyway, there's some more news, some of which is very exciting. This one was what made me think of The Irishman. Imagine this: Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio are doing a movie together. There's no surprise there, right? It's a crime movie that takes place in Hawaii. It's a little different from Scorsese and his New York stuff, right? Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt are also going to be in this.
I'm there.
Put this together. Dwayne Johnson will be directed by Martin Scorsese. Isn't that a little mind-blowing?
Yeah.
I saw that and I thought, good for Dwayne. I mean, that's a major step up. Now, here's the thing. I imagine that Dwayne Johnson will take direction better from Martin Scorsese than from Vin Diesel. Wouldn't you? I would think that's the case. Paradise has been renewed for season 2 at Hulu. I wish they hadn't told me that because I haven't seen the remainder of the series yet. And now I know that it obviously doesn't end totally. There's obviously enough room for them to do Paradise season 2. So we'll learn more about that. Paradise, by the way, I absolutely love. My son and his wife came down last night and they told us that they had something horrible to tell us. We didn't know what to expect. And they told us that they hate Paradise. Okay. I don't know why we like it so much. The Monkey is in theaters right now. That's the movie directed by Osgood Perkins, who of course is Anthony Perkins' son. I hope it's his son. I keep telling people that. I hope it's not his grandson or son. But anyway, he also directed Longlegs, which was very, very good. It's based on a book by Stephen King and produced by the Blumhouse people, I believe. Oh, no, Neon. I'm sorry, Neon. And it's going to do about $17 million this weekend, which is big for a horror movie because you know how much it cost? How much do you think the monkey cost to produce?
I'm going to say 2 million.
It was 10 million.
$10
million. So it will make its money back and probably do quite well, as a matter of fact. And as I was going to mention this to you, maybe we should go see that on Monday.
I can't Monday.
Well, then I'll go by myself.
Yes.
What are you doing Monday?
My car, my little Honda.
You're not going to do that. You've been promising to do that for weeks.
Oh, no. My mechanic was supposed to have done it yesterday, but some stuff happened and he couldn't. So we're scheduled for Monday.
Okay. We'll see if that really happens this time. George Armitage, who directed Grosse Pointe Blank and Miami Blues, has died. He was 83 years old. Have you seen Grosse Pointe Blank?
Long time ago. That's John Cusack, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really
he plays a hitman.
Yeah. That is a very good movie. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we might as well mention, I don't think we did talk about it yet on the air. Reacher season 3 is out now.
Yep. I saw the first episode from 3.
And it's just as entertaining as all the other. If a lot of reviews say it's better than the first 2 seasons, and I'm not far enough in to make that comment yet, but I'm really enjoying it. So it's Reacher. Jack Reacher is just a great character, and Alan Ritchson plays him perfectly well. So that's good news. Cleaner is a new movie starring Daisy Ridley. Who else is in it? I don't have that information here, but there's other stars. Anyway, it's they say it's a Die Hard knockoff, and it's not getting particularly good reviews. Here's the thing: it has to be better than Aftermath. Have you seen Aftermath, Johnny?
What was it about?
It just came out.
Then I haven't seen it.
It's about a soldier who is taking his niece, I believe, somewhere, and they get on the Tobin Bridge, I believe, and it's like 2-mile long bridge. And as they get on it, something blows up behind them, severing the bridge at the back. Something blows up in front of them, leaving the bridge kind of basically hanging from its cables and what have you. And they find out that there are former military who are upset with the way that their partner was treated by the government, and they're going to start killing hostages one by one on the bridge. They got about 150 of them, unless his friend is released. Their friend is released. So it turns into Die Hard on a bridge. It's really bad.
Yeah. Who's in it?
I don't know off the top of my head, but we'll look real quick here. So I really wanted to like it. I like big budget or movies that look like big budget action movies. And this one looked pretty good, but my wife and I just all through the thing, we're just like shaking our head.
When I heard the term clean or the word cleaner, I'm thinking about, you remember in Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Where,
Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel came in and he was the cleaner.
Let's not start. No, we're not going to do that line. But yeah, that may be what Cleaner's about, but this is Aftermath. And a returning war veteran stricken with PTSD.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had that mixed up.
I know you. Well, I was talking about both. So
okay.
Unwittingly gets trapped with his teenage sister on Boston's Tobin Memorial Bridge as a heavily weaponized group of ex-military revolutionists take everyone hostage. It's on Netflix if you're interested. The stars are Dylan Sprouse, Mason Gooding, and Megan Stott. It's not good. It's unbelievable to the max. I haven't said that for a long time. To the max. Like, totally, dude, is gnarly.
It's like, wow.
Anyway, that's about it for this week's show. So thank you all for listening. Remember, the bowling bag in the back seat comes out March 18th, my new book. I was going to bring in the galley today to show off, but I forgot it, of course.
And, speaking of Scotty's books, if you have Amazon Prime, because we've been talking about Amazon today, if you have Amazon Prime, you can find under author are Scott Bolton books. There is yes, I'm going to use that word.
Don't do it.
There is a bunch of them.
That's good.
Plethora.
Oh, wait. I tried to stop him.
And the latest that's out right now is Death in the Mogul.
which is a Brace Heller novel.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And there's one or two other Brace Heller.
Can I tell you a real quick Brace Heller story?
Yes.
There's 3 Brace Heller books. There's actually
Oh, that's a good story.
there's actually 4 total and a half of another one.
Mhm.
Anyway, when I was in Wyoming, before I got to Wyoming, my niece texted me and said, "Hey, my friend wants a signed copy of Knife Point, which is the first Brace Heller
Mhm.
novel."
Good story.
I signed it for her and I sent it out to her. And when I got out there, she hadn't read it yet, but she was looking forward to reading it. And so that was that conversation. She was really nice. Sammy's her name. She's really cool people. And so we came back home, and when we landed, Shelly had a text from Kristen, my niece again, and she says, "Okay, Sammy's obsessed with the Brace Heller book. She just bought the other 2." So she'd read Knife Point before, at the time we were there, and then immediately bought the next 2. So Shelly goes, "Your Brace Heller character is probably your most popular." I go, "Yeah, he probably is, because he's a badass."
Yeah. My favorite, and I've said this, I love them all of Scott's books.
Except Backseat, Bowling Bag in the Backseat, apparently.
Oh, well,
Hasn't finished it.
even if I'm late, I will still finish it.
Won't do any good.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, you should finish the book. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
But my favorite is Dead Dick, which is about a 40s private detective who died back in the 40s and is in is it called the ether?
Nope. The
It's-
Betwixt,
The Betwixt.
which is basically purgatory, but they don't talk religion.
And he's there by himself with the exceptions of the little cherub,
Buster the cherub, the cherub with a 5 o'clock shadow.
And Buster was named after.
My dog Buster.
Yep.
Plus, it's a cool name.
But anyway, it's a great story.
And they all return in the sequel, which is hashtag Hellstrong, which is in the editing stages.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
It's just stupid as hell, by the way. Supposed to be intentionally stupid as hell.
I was going to ask you about a certain movie, a sequel or a continuation, and I forgot who it was.
Well, it didn't help us then, does it?
I know. And 5 minutes after we go off the air, I'm going to go, no, that was it.
I doubt it.
That's true too.
All right, folks. Oh, wait, there's more.
Oh yes,
Never ends.
How did you like Reacher?
Oh, I loved
Seriously.
it. I loved it. First of all, I've read most of the books. I've actually held off on the last 3 because I don't want to run out of Reacher books, even though there's a new one coming out later this year. So I love the character in the books, and the thing that makes the series work so well is even though they diverge from the book quite a bit, actually, it's the character still the same. They got Alan Richardson, and is just the perfect Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
He's got the size, he's the strength. He even talks the way you would imagine Reacher would talk. And I love that about him. Plus he's a cool dude. So
yeah.
But so, and you liked it too, right?
I most certainly
And like
did.
I said, most of the reviews are saying it's the best season. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes has got it at, and then we'll let you folks go.
Now I've only seen the first episode of the 3rd season because I wanted to savor it. I didn't want to binge watch it.
That's just weird.
I know.
I watched it because I can't not watch it. I have to see it right away. All right, so Reacher season 3. I want to see. Let me find the season. Season 1 had a 95%. There we go. There we go. Season 3. Oh, season 3 is 97%. So Reacher, they know what they're doing.
What was season 2?
I don't know. Let's go back and look.
Season 2 was really, really good.
Season 2 was 98%.
Oh, wow.
So even better. And there's no rating on. It was 95% for season 1. Yeah, it's good stuff. And that guy is you know what he is? They always say that the best special effect in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And the best special effect in Reacher is Alan Richardson.
I didn't realize that he was also in that World War II movie about the beginnings. I don't know if it was the beginnings of the British SAS.
Is that the extraordinary gentleman?
Well, no. But you're
It was
close.
a gentleman in the title, right?
Oh man, I hate it when I do this all the time.
You bring it up, and then when you look stupid.
I know it.
Oh, it's stupider. Let's be honest. I can't find it, but I know the movie you're talking about because I haven't seen it yet. It was.
You got to find it.
I'm not going to sit here and do this in the air.
No, just.
Who was the star? It was Henry Cavill, wasn't it?
Yes.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
You were close.
Guy Ritchie directed it, which is, I can't believe I haven't seen it if Guy Ritchie directed it, because the only bad movies he made were the ones he made when he was married to Madonna.
Yeah.
I don't know if that tells you anything, but
It was a bad marriage too.
Henry Cavill, Alicia Gonzalez, Alan Richardson, Henry Golding, and Alex Prettyford. Where can we watch that at?
On your TV. That's where I
That's
watched
very
it.
helpful.
Oh, I know.
Amazon Prime Video, it says. So there you go. I'll watch it. Oh, and then Stars. I have both of those.
I may have watched it on Stars because I know I didn't have to pay for it. And
Okay.
you didn't have to pay for it.
Well, I'm going to have to watch that like maybe this weekend.
It was really
Well, my
good.
son's down, so probably not this weekend.
He might like to watch it too.
They're going to go see The Monkey. They're dying to see The
Okay,
Monkey.
why they go see
They
the
wanted to
movie?
see it last night, and they were too tired from the drive, so they didn't go.
It's not that far of a drive. Unless they had to go
Really?
through snow.
Friday night, traffic on the 5, not that long of a drive. You might want to reconsider that statement.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
That's the 5.
It's a nightmare. It's not even a freeway anymore. It's a
It's a moving parking
continuous
lot.
chain of red lights.
It's a parking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal. All right, folks. Thank you again for watching. We'll be back next week, and I will have a review of The Monkey for you, which I'm looking forward to very much.
I remember what I was going to ask.
Quickly, White Lotus episode 1, perfection. Looking forward to more.
Love Hurts. Have you seen it yet?
No, I have not.
I want to see that so badly. It's
Well, we go Monday, but you're going to get your car
I
fixed.
know.
Except he's not. It won't happen.
No, because you want to see Monkey.
I do want to see Monkey.
I know it's showing at the corner theater, so I might go up there and watch
Is it really?
Yeah.
And hot dogs, how much are they now? $3?
I don't know. I haven't been up there in a while.
They're way cheaper than the ones at the Regency.
But I'm always that is the Regency.
Cinemark.
There you go.
As soon as I said Regency, I went, wait, what?
I saw the look on
Cinemark.
your face, like,
Cinemark, they're $6.
yeah, it's like, wow.
Hot dog, popcorn, and a Coke. That's a movie for you right there. All right, folks. See you next week. Thanks for watching.
Hey,
Go to Harbor Cove Cafe.
and then well, after you do that, depending on what time it is, go to your corner theater and watch a movie.
What is with the arms?
I was stretching.
By the way, I want to mention quickly because we're about to play our outro here. Jared, who is Julie's son from the Friday Shot Day show, and Jim's from the House of Magic, of course. He's turning 21 next month.
Wow.
And Julie was asking me where should they go to celebrate his birthday? And I said, well, what does he like to drink? I know he likes Slivovitz, which is weird because I don't know anybody else who really likes Slivovitz. But and she said, oh, he's a bourbon man. He likes his whiskey. And I go, well, then there's only one place he can go.
Mhm.
Which place is that? You don't know. It's the Grape. The Grape has the best bourbon selection in Ventura County.
I gotta go.
They've got Josh, and Josh there is an expert.
Wait a minute. Was this Josh from Ventiki?
No,
A different
this is
Josh.
Josh from the Grape.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and he is a bourbon expert. You tell him what you're looking for in a bourbon, and he'll pull it off the shelf because he's got it there. It is. If you're a bourbon fan and you haven't been to the Grape in Ventura, you messed up. So fix that. So I think they're all going to go to the Grape for bourbon.
I do like a good bourbon.
Oh, bourbons are the best. Whiskey bourbon. Because Baker's Mark has both on the label. Bourbon whiskey, it says. All right, we're leaving now. Bye, guys.
Hey, goodbye.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge. Located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.